Oh, I have to download updates.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Gary Gatto. Welcome to Race First coverage of Round 6 of the 40 RACEWEAR's Saturday Indy Open Strength of Field race for Season 1 of 2024, coming to you from the mother of all road courses, the North Loop course of the Nürburgring, a.k.a. the Nordschleife. Joining me for expert analysis in the booth for today's race, he's returning to help us cover the Indy Open and IIT T this year, the IndyCar iRacing Tour. He's my IndyCar teammate and a regular participant in the Indy Fix Series. Appeared on the top split, in fact, on our Tuesday night broadcast, coming to us live from Mexico City, where I'm sure it's a hell of a lot warmer where it is right now in central Indiana. Please welcome Antonio Estrada. Antonio, are you good to go?
I am. Hello there. Man, it's been a while.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's been since we last signed off for our last race, which was at Spa, round 3 of season 1 of 2023. 385 days. Did you ever think we'd be back? And how excited are you to be here today?
I am very, very excited, man. Yeah, when we signed up at Spa that last race, I was like, I'm sure that we're gonna be back. Not sure when, but we're gonna be back, and I'm so psyched to be here at the Nürburgring at the Nordschleife, and yeah, ready to go back racing. I'm very, very happy that iRacing and IndyCar got together and made sure that we were back to where we were and potentially even better than we were before. So yeah, I'm psyched for it, man.
All right, so we kind of let things run a little long because it was a longer session, but we're going to try to get today's starting lineup in. We got a full field. We're getting ready to go green. So let's take a look at today's starting lineup coming to you from Nürburgring.
All right, so detached qualifying this time by, and we have on pole Adam Blocker, followed by Kevin Burrell starting P2. Row 2, we have Zachary Hubler and Alan King. Row 3, we can find Olivia Hayward and Blaise Andrick. Row 4, we can find Fabian Jaroszewski and David Wojciuk. I'm so sorry if I butchered anyone's names. It's been a while, though. In row 5, we have Andrew Gus and Olaquiore Bankole. Row 6, we can see Ken Pollard and my name's not showing up, but it's Lloyd.
Corey Lloyd, we got that. Let's see, Brad, and I'm just as bad. Brad Euchman in 15th. Ty Quilla, we've seen him in the series before, 16th. Jerome Lardot in P17, and Ewan Dukos in P18. Moving on, Micah Prescott 19th, Drew Holderman in the 20th, Ken Childs in the 21 in 21. Well, there seems to be a pattern here. David Cola in 22nd, Dominique DeLay in 23rd, Louis Maglione, I hope I'm saying that right, in 24th. Daniel Kim in 25th, and Micah Bubats in 26th. So I think because of the detached qualifying, things are coming up a little bit differently on screens, but that is your 26-car field. And Burrell and Blocker, they're your two big shooters up front, along with Blaise Andrich, Zachary Hubler. We know those four pretty well on previous broadcasts, and we're getting ready to go green for just 9 laps here at Nords.
Oh, up front, Blaise Andrich really
yes, he was.
There to Kevin Burrell, and now Zachary Hubler is fighting him there on the inside and gets it done.
Yeah, this is exactly what Blocker wanted to see. I mean, we could be looking at 2 pretty walk-away wins from him already so far this week in the Indy Open Series as he continues to pull away. We'll get you a split here in a moment, but we're getting ready to go onto the old course here pretty soon. I got to tell you, though, when we were looking at this race and you and I were talking, Antonio, I was like, man, this is a Formula One track, or a lot of Formula One history here. Not a lot of IndyCar history here at all. IndyCars have never run on any version of the Nürburgring. And I'm like, if maybe this IndyCar is raced here, I would be able to maybe remember 100 plus of these turn names. Forget it. I'm not going to remember that. Not if IndyCar doesn't run here. But we'll talk about track records here in a little bit and everything. But these cars, at least for us on this broadcast, kind of into a new territory as they're on to the graffiti portion of the track. Now, this is where, if you have a car and you're in the Nürburgring area, several times a year, they allow you to bring your car out on the track and drive it. And as a matter of fact, my old man, my dad, when he was in the service, stationed in Germany, got a chance to drive his German vehicle around the track back in the good old days, back in the 60s of the Nürburgring. So that's about my only connection to this track. But he did tell me he did tell me a pretty cool story as we watched the action continue further on back. This is, we're not too far away from the end of World War II when my dad's stationed there. It's only about 15, 20 years. And when they were playing the German national anthem, when he went to the German Grand Prix here in the 60s, everybody that was here with them, all the other Americans, when they played the German national anthem, they stood up and they respected the German national anthem, and then the other Germans around them kind of liked the fact that they were willing to respect their flag and their anthem. And well, needless to say, my dad and his service mates really didn't have to buy any other beers for the remainder of that race.
Cool is that? And I would see the field going up way to Adenauer first, that twisty section. Something we saw real quickly happen was getting there to Arenberg. Both Blaise Hendrick went by Kevin Birrell and Zachary Hubler went by Max King. So, a lot of moving right now. Oh, as Kevin Birrell takes a little bit of curb there, that upsets the car quite a bit. But hey, how cool that he didn't have to pay for any more beers. That's great.
Watching Adam Blocker here in the blue and black. I always equate it to the Batmobile here. Power Slides Motorsports Dallara IR18. I like to call him the Dark Knight. Now, whether or not he likes that nickname or not, I don't know. I will say, back here in the field, Kevin Birrell, he has the best set of handlebar mustache that I've seen since General Burnside in the Civil War. So I do believe he might be getting the nickname the General here soon if he continues to sport that look. But he is running third. He is in that Satellite Racing entry, as he's moved on from another team to that Satellite Racing team. So moving on up, Blaise Hendrick sitting there in second. He had a good showing in the first race on Monday, but unfortunately towards the end had a little bit of a contact with another runner. So he's looking to improve that, but we're still rocking and rolling here. We haven't even completed one lap yet.
Yeah, that's just the thing with the Nordschleife. Well, the combined circuit as a whole, the entire Nürburgring, because we do have to use the Grand Prix circuit for the pit stalls, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to finish the target cars. As we are now taking the carousel and one of the more iconic landmarks of this circuit. But yeah, I mean, this is a track that is very, very long. Like you said, 150 something turns.
15 miles, yeah.
And these cars are really, really fast, and they still are only lapping at around 6 minutes and 40 seconds, which again, it's mind-numbingly fast. It's typically some of the GT cars, cars that would typically see action here, they would be clocking around 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Yeah, a lot of downforce for obviously the Indy cars, and that's why it's also a combination that it's probably not gonna happen ever, because it is a very, very dangerous way of handling it, and the speeds that these cars can get, it's kind of crazy. And the Nordschleife itself is not a very safe racetrack, because it's so long. Most of it is just armco barriers.
Yeah.
And, you mess up, well, you're gonna be in that barrier, and it's not anything but a steel barrier. So no safer barriers, of course, no runoff areas. So it's really a testament of how mentally prepared you have to be in order to drive here. I mean, of course, we are in sim, and if we wreck, it's fine. But again, doing this in real life would be a massive thing. As we go through the second carousel, and now we're heading to the backstretch. That's called the Dödinger Hohe. Which is a massive, super long backstretch where if you're close enough with these cars to push the pass and the draft, you might be able to make something happen. As Kevin Birrell is actually closing in a little bit, and Blaise Hendrick there for P2.
Oh, we got some collisions in the back. We now have 3 cars already have retired, or at least 2 cars have retired, 1 in the pits. We are taking a look back here at P9, 10, and 11, where we seem to be pretty much in a draft train, starting from Santiago back to Dave here, Andrew Gust, Bencoli, I hope I'm saying that right here, Olivia Hayward, who raced in the Monday race. They have some experience coming up through the field, started in the rear. Actually, it was kind of a race to survive. Whoa, Fabian in the wall as he was trying to undercut there, and he maybe had to brake a little bit harder than he wanted to, but he is back underway, no damage. One lap in the books.
Yeah, Olivia has a lot of work ahead of her. That's going to be a very tough way to move through. Ooh, there is a little bit of luck there from Silvoso there in P6. Quite a battle that we have here, like you said, for P6 on to P11.
This really reminds me of a race, though, that as long as you keep it between the lines, you hit pit road, you get no penalties, you make it to the end, survival will probably reward you with a decent finish.
It sure will. I mean, the Nordschleife itself is like like we said, a very demanding track, and it's only 9 laps. A tiny mistake, especially on the North Loop, the Nordschleife, that's going to mean that you're off. So if you're just a little bit conservative, you're probably going to go up. But again, we're seeing a very interesting battle here from P5 on back.
Yeah, we have some more people in pit road. Jerome Lardo, he is back there for some work and done. Ewan Dukos, and that interesting paint job that he has there. He looks like he's getting some repairs done. And we'll see if he rejoins. But right now, we're 1 lap into this thing, lapping not even a quarter at this point. Adam Blocker is your leader, and we started with 26 cars, and we're down to 19 already. That's how challenging, that's how challenging this course is.
Yeah, and I was just wondering what happened to Max King, because he was running P5, and I suddenly didn't see him, and turns out that he disconnected, probably issue with something in his his peripherals, which is a shame because he was solidly running in P5.
Well, if you join us in the excitement of IndyCar returning back to the broadcast and back to the service here. Well, it's always been on the service, but now we can bring it to you and the masses via the streaming broadcast. Help keep the positive momentum, folks. If you enjoy Race First coverage of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday Indy Open Top Split and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash the like and click the bell so don't miss out on future iRacing broadcast. I suspect that we're not going to have a lot of eyes today because this is Daytona 24 weekend. I wonder how many of these guys have done a double stint. They already did their 24-hour race, and now they're back for IndyCar. I think Adam is one of those.
Yeah, Adam certainly is one of them, and I think Zach Hubler also. Yeah. I just saw that Andrew Gust went by Santiago Silvoso there for P5 entering Arenberg. Arenberg is one of the largest corners in the Nordschleife, and that's also why I can't actually remember the name of it. But although it's super, super long, there are not very many places that you can make moves because it's a very narrow track. So interesting to see, because we saw Blaise Hendrick actually go by Kevin Berelder and Zach Hubler go by Max King there the lap before, but we now see it happening again. It's one of the more important passing opportunities there that we have, because the pace for Andrew Gus, Silvoso, David Boxiuk, Taikila, and Olivia Hayward, it's very, very similar. They're all bunch up together, so it's going to be paramount to be able to make passes on those passing opportunities that come up, because again, there are not very many.
Yeah, top 10 kind of starting to break away from the remainder of the field. There's about a 2-second gap back to Fabian here. We get it on him by himself, which is probably not a bad thing. Now, I heard some of the drivers this week talking about suffering their own ADD and ADHD incidents on this track. It's just like, it's so long. Sometimes it's so hard to stay so focused.
It certainly is. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, I think, the FIG Series was visiting the Nordschleife, and I, of course, participated there, and you could easily see folks losing concentration. I myself also lost concentration and almost hit the wall. But it is tough. It is tough to just maintain focus for, in this case, 9 laps, because it's so easy to get disoriented due to the magnitude of this track. As we have 5 cars now going through the carousel. Olivia Hayward gets a good jump, but decides better of it. Backs out a little bit.
So we kind of expect.
Oh, there's a spin in front of Santiago Silva. There's a wreck.
Oh. So that was Andrew Gust, and yeah, his car is destroyed. He's going to try to drive that. I probably just need to tow it at this point.
And that was.
Let's see what happened there. We don't get a chance to look at too many wrecks because of just the action going on here. But let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look from his point of view. Coming out. Oh, hit the curb. Just grab the curb. Oh, and I think Santiago was hit on that one. Yes, Santiago. Oh, there was wrecking further down the track.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Santiago looks like he got a little bit of damage, but kind of kept it rolling. But, it was not going to turn. And then he was also a victim of that. That's the unfortunate part of it. Again, it's not a very wide track. So
no.
There are not very many places where you can escape to.
Again, watching Olivia Hayward and the battle that they are in. Starting to separate out a little bit. So back before we saw that spin there, as Blocker's putting about 4 seconds over Andertz right now. We're looking at about 4 laps on the stint. So about 4 laps coming to lap 5 is when we saw Blocker come to pit road in the Monday race. Now, whether or not he adheres to that same strategy, he might.
Sorry,
we'll see.
Blaise Andrick is actually pitting in right now. So, yeah, the thing is, there are a couple of strategies you can do here. For the most part, it's going to be very similar because you need to pit twice at the very least. You can, the fuel stint is probably going to last 3 laps for the most part. You can extend it a little bit if you're fuel saving to 4, and that is useful so that you can do 4-3-2 or 4-2-2, something like that. Different strategies for pitting, and make sure that you have the alternate tires for just maybe a smaller stint or a shorter stint. Instead of grinding them out, because the alternate tires are gonna wear out if you do 3 laps on them. It's gonna be tough to make sure that they make it to the end. And right now we see that Blaise Andrick is the first one to bite. He did 2 laps. I'm gonna take a look quickly to see what he is.
Yeah, we're riding on him right now. They're going to the alternate compounds, down and away, full fuel, new tires. He's going to come out rejoining the field way down in the order, but he doesn't have to stop at least for another 4 to 5 laps.
Yeah, so he can make it 4 laps with fuel save, or 3 laps, and then I've seen folks doing it 3-3-3, like that's the way to cut it in some cases. For Blocker, actually, I think it was 4-2-3 or 4-3-2, something like that. But it really depends on what do you want to do. If you want to really push for it and have a super quick, as Blaise Andrick is going on the outside on Sabine Schmidt curve and makes it work on David Watsuk. So pitting early for Blaise Andrick. He is still a P4. He didn't really lose any time, and that's because the top 4, they are so much faster in pace to everyone else in this split currently. So
yeah, we were talking about this before the race in our pre-show. We weren't expecting, actually, we weren't expecting a full split. This is 26 cars, so we actually are rather happy about the 26 car split, but we didn't expect a high strength of field. I think it's a 1904, I believe. Was the strength of field is 1.9, not very high, much smaller than what was on the Monday show. However, like I said, we're in the middle of 24 weekend, and a lot of these guys have either raced in the 24, so they're tired, or they have a stint they committed to a stint with their team that corresponds with over this race, and so you got to meet your commitments. So we don't expect a great deal of miracles this particular race. We really just kind of expect a lot of people to kind of be playing it safe, making the laps, and trying to tick that safety rating and get those I rating a little bit higher.
Yeah, for sure. Although I'm not sure. I mean, Blaze Hendrick going so early, it probably means that he's gonna try and attack a little bit more. Although he's gonna have to save fuel, but this should give him like clean track in front of him, which can be good, can not be super good. Depends on what you want to do. But the thing right now is he doesn't have any drafts, and that is something that really is helpful, especially on the Nürburgring Hoe, because it's such a long backstretch that if you do not have any support from anyone else, you're going to be a tiny smidge slower.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already lap 3, and we still have, from P5 to P7, they're still very, very close together. Even to P8, you can add Fabian Jurashevsky there.
Get the camera on him. There we go.
See, they're very close in pace.
Yeah, this course is so huge. It's like, where do I stick the camera to show the best action? We're just trying to find cars that are somewhat in the same neighborhood of each other. Running through the Eifel Mountains here in Germany. Now, I should have said, my dad's the only one that's been to Nürburgring. I've actually been to Nürburgring. I stopped on the train there for about 30 seconds and then continued my trip to wherever it was I was going when I was in Germany. But I stopped at the Nürburgring train station.
Well, there you go. You've been there.
Yeah, I have been there. I can't say I have been to the ring though. One of these days, baby. One of these days.
As old Coyote Bancola is getting really close to David Wojcik as they are entering the carousel there.
And this is one of the one of the 2 carousels. There's I know one is called the kleines carousel, and that's the small carousel when you translate your German there.
Yeah.
Of course, the Nordschleife translates to the North Loop. And then so often you see they call it the Gesamtstrecke, and that's the total combined. That's what it means in German. It's 3 years of German paying off. Never expected to be on a iRacing broadcast stream. Oh, yes, I saw that.
Goes a little wide.
Yep. Now, there it is. Yeah, these tires are spent. Yeah, these tires are spent. We might see.
The alternate tires, and this is at the end of a stint. So yeah, these tires are gone, and they probably both David and Old Coyote. They're probably both going to be pinning in here this lap. Not sure what the plan is for Olivia Hayward. If she was planning for maybe saving a little fuel, which she can possibly do right now because she's on draft range, and that helps a little bit with the fuel saving situation. She can go further, but yeah, these guys and the tires are gone.
I'm not good at there's the Kleines carousel right there. I'm not very good at Okule. I think the nickname for him is okay. Okay. I think the good nickname for him is okay, and he is stalking the backsides of David Woldrich here, and they are coming down the long straight side by side. He's going to try to pull this move off, which makes me think that he's going to continue racing and not hit pit road. We'll see.
I thought that David Wojcik was going to jump right into his into the back of him like super early, but I think that they are both going to be pitting, like you said. Because he could have potentially taken him back if he had jumped right into him. So now they're wrapping up the Nordschleife, going back to the Grand Prix circuit, and they're both...
There they go, all 3 of them to the pit.
And there we go, Haywood staying out.
Yep, Haywood is going to stay out.
Fabian Jurashevsky is also coming in. So that also means for our leaders, which we have not taken a super quick look right now, Adam Blocker and Kevin Burrell and Zach Hubler, they're all going to be taking they're going to be making it 4 laps on the first stint, which makes sense.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Adam did in the Monday race. So what works, stick with it.
Yeah. And so it's okay first, then Fabian,
yep.
and David Bosiuk is the last one of these three to come out. He was the first one that came in, so he probably had a slower stop there.
Yeah, often when you see there's certain races on the schedule that bring out the non-IndyCar crowd. I'm not sure if David there is a part of the IndyCar regular series and participant. Oh, tire! And broadcaster's curse. Cold tires right into the wall, coming into the north loop. Left front is wobbling. He's done. And he is going to park it and punch out. So that one's on me. I'm the broadcast curse there. But I was getting ready to say, a certain crowd does come out for these type of races. The road racing sports car crowd does come out. And if you are into the slower sports cars, like the GT3s or whatever, they don't have nearly as much downforce as these. But if you're more into the LMPs, they have more downforce than these guys, so they can hustle these cars a lot more. And you see a lot of those type of drivers show up on these particular weeks. It's kind of like Indy Fixed when we go to Talladega or Daytona. A lot of the NASCAR drivers want to take their hand and try an Indy Fixed. Well, you see a lot of the road course racers want to try their hand because the Nordschleife is just that famous, that much of a challenge, but it is called the Green Hell for a reason.
It sure is, because it's so tough. And I think iRacing actually created a Ringmeister series where it's just about racing at the Nürburgring Nordschleife, but with different cars. I personally, I haven't raced it because I'm not really good at racing in the Nordschleife. But from the folks that do enjoy it, I know that it's a ton of fun. So if that's something that you're looking for, I would definitely recommend doing it. But this is still gonna be here for the entirety of today, tomorrow, and a little bit of Monday. So if you're curious, just go ahead and try it out. It's one of the most challenging combos, the IndyCar at the Nordschleife, but it's also one of the more rewarding when you get a lap right, which it doesn't happen that often for me, but that's beside the point. As here, Poland is making a move on Drew Holderman, then going by for P9.
Got that. And the plain yellow wrapper there for Keir Pollard.
Yeah, it looks like Drew was more like, hey, I'm just going to let you by.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, because, again, it's a race of attrition, like we were talking about earlier.
we were already talking about this. If you keep the car between the lines and you finish this race, you could reward yourself. Now, I'm going to give him a jinx here because, he is racing in F1 livery on an IndyCar. Shame on you, Drew. But we said you finish the race, you're going to get yourself rewarded. And if you stay out of trouble. So far, he has stayed out of trouble. He's P10. He started P20. So he's up 10 spots just by keeping the nose clean. Yeah.
Yeah, so both him and Dominic Delia, they're in P13. They both have made 10 spots just by being there and not doing anything crazy. As well as Daniel Kim, they're in P12. He's up 13 spots, which, is quite a bit. And again, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be flashy. You need to survive first.
No, yeah. Absolutely. Now, up front, Adam Blocker with 6 laps to go here at in Nords. He doesn't quite have the lead he did in the Monday race. Kevin Burrell has given him a run for his money. And when I say run for his money, Burrell, 7 seconds behind. Blocker won by 30 seconds. So he still has got a chance to meet that number. We still got plenty of time here, 6 laps to go. Let's get you some best laps, give you an idea of how long it takes to complete a lap here. Here you go. A lot of empty spaces because of invalidated laps because of running off course or a little bit or clipping a corner, but 6:47.9 by Blocker on a completed lap. But some guys like Bubats, look at Bubats just out there. I'm making time, even though I believe he's in the pits on an extended stop. Made a 7-minute 20-second lap. I mean, whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
But look at Dominic Goliath there in P13. His fastest lap is an 8 minutes 9 seconds, and he's P13. He's there.
Yeah.
I mean, as we're now heading to the pits, and what you were saying about Kevin Burrell giving Blocker a run for his money, I think that's true, because in Monday's race he was
Blocker
able
in,
to
Blocker in.
relax a little bit.
Yep.
Blocker into the pits.
Blocker in.
He was able to relax just a tiny bit, and I'm sure Burrell and Huber are going to be following him here. And I mean, again, he's not able to relax right now. He has to go all out, make sure that everything is up to speed. That he
Burrell in, Hubler in.
Stay there, stay on it.
So here's Andrich. He's already made his stop. He's on the harder of the two compounds right now, which is the prime compound, and he is by himself. He is coming up to the contemporary ring portion of the, and he's going to pass these guys. We'll see if Blocker's out. Blocker's out.
Yeah, but Andrick was P2 before pitting, so he should be able to get him.
Well, he doesn't. He falls to Burrell. Burrell gets the position. Andrich now in P2. So now Andrich has to attack, as we see that his tires are probably of optimum heat. He's been on them for a couple of laps, whereas Blocker and Burrell need to bring their tires up to speed. Blocker currently on a set of primes, and Burrell on a set of alternates. That's the red sidewall tire here in IndyCar Racing. Have 2 tire compounds for road courses.
And I'm trying to understand the strategy from Blaise Andrick there, because he actually pitted at the end of lap 1. So that means that he's going to have to save fuel for both these things. So he's going to be able to stretch this one and pit at the end of lap 5 this lap.
Unless he has some sort of damage we didn't see.
Maybe, but that should be enough to make him go all the way to the end. However, he's going to have to be fuel saving in both of them. So it makes sense that he was unable to go by Burrell, because Burrell, while saving, he was very close. Well, not that very close, but he was, if he didn't have any damage, he was going to be able to be a little bit more efficient on the fuel saving thing. And now he's going to be able to go all out, as opposed to Andrick, who needs to save fuel.
Well, if you're just joining us, welcome back. This is Race First coverage of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday Indy Open top split coming to you from the Nürburgring. We completed, 4, coming to 5 laps to go here of a scheduled 9. If you're enjoying the Race First coverage of today's race and would like to monetarily support us, please find our link in the to our GoFundMe campaign in the stream description. We do realize times are tough, so any donation, no matter the amount, is greatly appreciated. We do want to thank our sponsor. That's 4D RACEWEAR. Make sure you hit the link for 4D RACEWEAR in the description. They have their made for sim racing gloves and boots. You want to check those out. And we want to thank them for returning to help us sponsor these series for the remainder of this season. Check them out at 4D RACEWEAR. Link is in the description. While you're watching, while you're at it, make sure to click the like and hit the subscribe. Share it with a friend. Help the algorithm. People that are getting into IndyCar again now, help them find this. And it's one of the rarities you'll ever see, and only in iRacing IndyCars on the long course at Nürburgring.
So something interesting that also happened during that pit sequence that we didn't see. Olivia Hayward went into the pits with Blocker, Burrell, the same strategy, and now she's quite ahead of Fabian Gurszewski and Ola Kyoto, Pancole, OB. They were all together, and now she's 3.5 seconds in front of them.
Yep.
And actually, the way the top 5 is shaken out, I mean, not again. We kind of expected a different field because we knew the 24 would be going on. We would see some new names. We know the regular participants that participate in that get chosen for the top split based upon their I rating. Blocker, Burrell, Andrich, Hubler, Hayward. Those 5 right there we saw in the Indy Open and for Monday's race, and we expected to see them here. And guess what? They've all risen to the top here, and Hayward up 4 spots from where they started. But to no one's surprise, at least not to mine anyways, they are kind of up above everyone else based upon I'm willing to bet just the familiarity with the car and the fact that they're regular participants in the series. But Fabian hanging on there with the top 10 in P6, not too far behind Olivia. Okay, right behind him, Kyle Everts. He is in P8 in that. That reminds me, I need to get some cereal in the Kellogg's Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes livery there. And Drew Holderman back in 9th. He's in that AlphaTauri. And Corey Lloyd, which we haven't really shouted him out too much. He's in the Players Forsyth looking livery. He has worked his way up to 10th.
That's a great looking car.
Regular friend of the program, Craig Forsyth, typically sports that. Normally has the gold rims on it.
Yeah. To go with a period.
Yep.
Right, so if we keep going through the field, we have Keir Pollard there, P11. Daniel Keem, which we haven't mentioned. Oh, well, we have mentioned, but we haven't looked at him. Currently P12, up 13 positions from the start of the race. The biggest winner in that sense. He's the one that has climbed the most. Ty Quilla, who is a regular participant in the Indy Series. It's P14 currently. He was a little closer to the group with Fabian and OK before. Something must have happened to him.
Just to give you an idea, not to cut you off, just to give you an idea how big this course is. Ty, at his last stop, must have had some damage. 3 minutes to fix. Still on the same lap as your leader.
Yeah. Which is why when we mentioned that, Daniel Keem was lapping on the 8-minute mark, and our leaders are, doing high 6 minutes, like just a tiny bit under 7 minutes, they're probably not going to lap him. Like, it doesn't matter that he's that much slower because it's such a massive track. Well, maybe they will. Now that I'm doing a little bit of math, they probably will lap him, but, it's crazy to think how large the Nordschleife is.
Yeah, I think finishing here, there's nothing to be ashamed about, even if you get lapped, as long as you can bring the car home. We started with 26. We are down to 15 now with 5 laps to go. Still plenty of time here to race in the Indy Open Series. We'll be covering the remainder of the season for the Indy Open Series, and next week is Zandvoort. With the new banking there in that signature corner of theirs now. So that'll be interesting to watch. So let's move on further on back. Here's Dominic DeLay. Oh, keep it off the wall. Keep it straight. Keep it straight. And he does. Back underway. So
that's good driving.
the curse. We're sorry. We apologize. And Ewan Dukos, doing a little off-roading, has lost his front wing.
But he really just lost it right now.
Oh, now he's sideways, and he punches out.
I think it was the commentator's curse again. I mean, we hadn't really talked about him. Now he's out of the way.
So now I think, he just punched out, unfortunately. That's too bad. Sorry about that, Ewan. Again, we give you the curse, but now Dominic DeLay is the last car running. There you see Adam Blocker at the bottom of our shot coming through the scene there. He is, to no one's surprise, has the purple lap at a 6:47.922. So while we have the camera here on the Dark Knight, he does, as a matter of fact, work in the real world IndyCar world. He'll be working for Yukos Hollinger Racing as one of their engineers, I believe. But he has one less finger to put a ring on, as a matter of fact, because he was on Joseph Newgarden's team for the winning team of the Indy 500. And I did ask him, do you get a ring? I believe I got the answer back yes from him. So that is something that not an awful lot of people get, and I would say a ton more people would want. But congrats to him for being there for that. If you know what Adam looks like, if you go back and watch the Victory Lane celebration, you'll be able to pick him out. He was drinking the milk and climbing the fence and you name it, having a blast, and I don't blame him. Color me super jealous.
Oh, yeah. Make two of us that's being super jealous. But now, I mean, yeah, a lot of things happened during the off season, our off season of a year, and one of them was Adam Blocker being a part of that team winning Indy 500 team, which is a massive achievement. And you know, Adam is a great guy. He's the community manager on the Indy Open side.
Yes, he is.
He's always looking for how can we improve. He's in constant communication with the iRacing folks. And there were also a lot of things that were happening on the Indy Fix side of things with Brandon Traino, with Robert Molesca stepping up as a community manager on that, and Traino and a bunch of folks, myself included, happily helping a little bit in creating more better race setups for the series. So very much a lot of positive things have happened, and Adam again is one of those really important folks, and we're very happy to be able to be seeing him and talking about him on a broadcast again. So yeah. And something that I wanted to mention real quick about the racing itself. Last time by, Kevin Burrell was 3 seconds faster than Blocker. It couldn't mean a lot.
Burrell's on the Reds. He's on the alternate tires. That matters, yeah. So he's got it down to under 6 seconds. Blocker, we'll go back to Blocker. You see him on our ticker there, push the pass, where he's on one of those parts of the straightaway that with the IndyCar downforce, you can keep it leveled. You can keep the foot buried. Burrell on push the pass. So he might have someone helping him spot. So he's noticed that Blocker's on push to pass. So interesting changes on the IndyCar on the service coming up. We have an Indy fixed sprint series, which will be a series of 15-minute races, and I believe their schedule will mirror the Indy Open schedule. And of course, the traditional Indy Fixed will be having its last oval race at Okayama coming up here in a couple weeks. And then after that, when the series relaunches next season, it becomes IndyCar Oval, where we will all oval races next season for that series. Now, on top of that, the fixed and open Indy 500s are returning. Unfortunately, not in their same time spot, and it looks like they'll be done on the same weekend, almost not necessarily on top of one another. iRacing said that they would try to separate things so you could make it possible. If you wanted to run one, you could run the other and run another, but we will see. But the fixed Indy 500 and the open Indy 500 will race, which will be IndyCar Detroit Grand Prix weekend, if you're looking on the NTT schedule. It'll be the weekend after Indy. Burrell getting his wheels up on the curb there, getting back in a little loose. He'll probably come in the pit road in the next 2 laps or so to put on a set of hards and top it off to get to the finish. But there will be additional development going into the car. One of the things that IndyCar, I believe, is developing for real world IndyCar this season is a smaller, lighter aero screen. So that will help. That's going to change a lot of people's setups when they change that, because right now the aero screen is, they said, added weight to the front of the car and has changed the center of gravity from low, middle now to upper and higher. Well, when you get a lighter aero screen, that's going to change the center of gravity, and that's probably going to play havoc with a lot of people's setups. But there's a lot of things happening also in the service itself. There's going to be an oval refresh. So we're looking at these cars probably behaving differently on the ovals as well, possibly. And let's not forget about the hybrid program that IndyCar is trying to do. I think it's been delayed, but eventually we will see some sort of hybrid technology put in these cars. And because the license has been signed back, we can now put the developers, the coders, the people that make the game, the sim, can put development back into these cars and add these new technologies that we see in the real world to the sim and make the sim that much more realistic. So brighter days. Now, there's some still things on my wish list that I wish they would do. Since IndyCar is they've paid up, and here he comes. We figured Burrell would be on pit road. I would love to see in terms of Well, one thing here on pit road for IndyCar, I'd love to see a variable pit road speed because I know they wouldn't be this slow in the real world. Among other things, different place to take the green flag for IndyCar does it differently than NASCAR. But right now we have to still adhere to those NASCAR rules. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, in a pipe dream. Oh, and we got Blaze Andrich on pit road, so he is going to get his final stop out of the way.
Yeah, so both Burrell and Andrick are going to be out now. Burrell moves to the it's a primary tires. So what's probably going to happen, as Blocker went by and didn't pit, is he's going to extend it a little bit on the he's also on the primary compound, and then he's going to do 2 super quick blazing fast laps in the red compound.
Yeah, he's probably going to set a new purple lap. Currently, purple lap is him. He's lowered the time a little bit. 6:46.235. What does that translate to in miles per hour around this place? Well, here you go. 132.982 miles per hour. Average speed around this place. And if you've seen some of these slow speed corners, he is really hustling it. 131.8 for Hubler is his best lap. 132 flat for Burrell, their best lap. Andrich, not too bad, 131.6. But remainder of the field pretty much in the 120s. I think just keeping it between the lines, as we said, hopefully rewarded with a solid finish, get some safety rating and some I rating out of this. Call it a day, go back to the 24 hours of Daytona.
And, you know, these guys, especially Blocker, Hubler, Burrell, and Andrick, guys that are really, really good at driving this car on road courses, they're obviously going to have a leg up on pretty much everyone. From when we were visiting here, this place, a couple of weeks ago when we were in the fixed series, I was psyched when I did a sub 7 minute. It was like a massive achievement for me. And these guys are doing 6:46, and I have seen Blocker go under 6:40. So, you know, it's just that they have so much knowledge about the car, they have so much experience with it, and they're going to be able to, you know, squeeze that tiniest little drop of juice that you can get from the car. Yeah, from P5 to P7, they're doing a really good job. Like Olivia Hayward, Vivian Jershevsky, Olakuyote, and Kyle, they're all around the 7 minute mark, maybe a tiny bit quicker, like 6:59 for Olivia Hayward, it's her best lap, 6:56 for Fabian Jershevsky. So, you know, they're doing pretty good. It's just that these other guys in the top 4, they are way faster.
Currently on pit road, Drew Holderman coming off pit road for his final stop. 3 laps to go.
Ooh, Zach Hubler locks up a little bit his tires, entering the slowest corner in the track.
Yeah, remember, he did not stop last time by, so he's on a pretty well-worn set of primes, and he's looking to, well, he has a long way to go. He still has a half a lap before he gets back to pit road where he could pit. So he's got to make these survive and try to put a gap on Burrell so he can pop out in front of him. I'm not sure he has enough delta to do that. Burrell on a new set of prime tires. There he is right there in the satellite racing entry.
Yeah, just going through Bergwerk. One of those deceptively corners in the Nordschleife, actually entering Bergwerk right now.
There he is.
If you go a little too fast, and, you know, it's game over. I know I have crushed her quite a few times.
From personal experience. You see Kevin Burrell, Club Japan. He has relocated to the land of the rising sun, working a business over there. So good luck to him. I was asking him what the lag is like from Japan. It says not too bad. Depends on time of day and whatnot, of course. Doesn't seem to be too bad for him right now. Got himself into 3rd. Probably will work his way up to 2nd once Hubler pits. There is Hubler right there.
Historically, I think we've always had like good races with the folks from Japan. I know on the fixed side there are a lot of enthusiasts. There are some really good racers from Japan. we don't typically get to see on our broadcasts because it's so late for them, or they're sleeping or they're at work. But yeah, there is a bunch of really good drivers from there, and I don't think I've seen that bad of a lag.
Yeah, his feedback was if you're coming in from New Zealand or Australia, you kind of get royally unfairly treated. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Blocker is now entering the Kleines carousel, second carousel. And now heading to the Jotunga Hohe, the large backstretch there. This is a 17-mile racetrack, including the Grand Prix layout, which, again, it's crazy. It's so long. But I'm sure that we're going to see him dive into the pits, get the set of alternates that he needs and he actually is required by the series to use, and put on a couple of super fast lap times there.
Now, I believe if you hit push to pass on one end of the straight, it will not last the entire straight.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
And there's one other track that does that on the service when Indy cars go there, and that's on the straights at Le Mans. The very first straight, and here he comes into the pits, getting it to the cone, getting slowed down. We'll ride along with our leader. But yeah, you could your push to pass just dies. I give you your 20 seconds and that's it. Of course, it's 20 seconds a push. In the real world, it's as long as I'm pushing the button, it gives me that. But again, maybe they'll change that. Maybe they won't. Hopefully, we'll pipe dream, like I said. But here he is hitting his spot right there. Pit box number 1 in the pit road, putting on the alternate tires, down and away. Hubler on pit road. So Burrell is going to pick up P2. Burrell might actually see Blocker pop out here at the end of pit road. We'll see. Burrell coming down the front straight, riding above his head right now, coming into turn 1.
He goes by Zach Hubler there. And Blaise Andrick as well.
And Hubler pops out behind Anders. So I think we're going to have this is where we're going to have our race for position right here. That's really going to matter for the broadcast, because I think first and second might be a foregone if they just complete their laps 2 to go. Andrich has older tires. Hubler has newer tires. Can Andrich hold off Hubler?
Yeah, newer alternate tires, so that's probably in favor of Zach Hubler there.
Yeah, it is. Well, in the short run, for sure. I mean, Andrich only has 1 lap on on this new set of primes.
Let me take a look at there's also the push-to-pass situation. Blaise Andrick has 4 left, and Zach Hubler has 7 left. I mean, it's probably not really going to matter that much. Blocker has still 8.
8,
so
yeah.
I'm sure that he's leaving them. As Zach Hubler is really, really close there, entering Sabine Schmidt turn. That's turn 1, typically, of the Nordschleife. Now they're going. Oh, he thought about going side by side. Again, it's a very narrow track.
Yeah.
You probably need to think better of it, because you cannot feed 2 cars at the same time in this Hatzenberg section, which is very twisty and very narrow. Oh, Blaise goes a little bit wide there, and he should be able to make it here on this straight.
Gonna get the push to pass. Hasn't hit it yet. Using the draft. Eyes on him.
It's a quick right-hander here, which can be deceiving.
Hubler on push to pass.
On the push to pass, yeah.
Gonna look to the outside. Might try to bring it to the inside. Now he's side by side going down the straight.
That's probably going to give him a little bit of a benefit of going into Arenberg here. He's going to be able to stay on the inside.
Oh!
Yeah, Blaise, he really froze it there a little bit.
I will give Blaise credit. He kept it out of the kitty litter, kept it off the grass, off the Armco, still going. Good racing for him. Good car control.
He's not staying that far out. I
No.
thought that once Hubler went by, he was going to be gone. Here they are entering out in our first. And Yeah, now there is a little bit of a gap building.
Well, once again, if you're just joining us, welcome back, everybody. You're watching Race First coverage of Round 6 of the 40 RACEWEAR Saturday Indy Open Top Split, coming to you from the Nürburgring, where Adam Blocker, to nobody's surprise, currently leads with about 2 laps to go. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. Also, don't forget your commentary team by sending a donation via our GoFundMe campaign link in the description. We certainly would appreciate it. 2 laps to go. And we're watching the battle for third. Kind of, well, unless there's an issue, it's kind of unfolded, and it is done. As right now, Hubler is pulling away from Andrich.
There's another battle brewing. Okay, is
let's get on that.
Actually, I'm sorry, Fabian is right behind Olivia Harryward.
There we go.
On the push pass button. Oh, a little bit of an aggressive line there.
Let's give you the push-to-pass situation. 8 for Blocker. I'm sure he'll use them all in the next couple of laps, or at least a number of them. Burrell using one currently right now, 3. Hubler currently using one right now, 5. Blaze Andrich currently using one right now, 3. Haywood Fabian with 3. Okay with 2. Kyle Everett's with 3. And Drew Holderman, well, they don't carry over, Drew. You got to use them at some point. He still has his 10. Now, it's possible he might not have a button map for it. And he's like, oh, crap, I got to deal with these with no push to pass. So, all the same, he still has 10, and maybe he's saving them for late in this race.
Oh, a little bit of
yep.
lock there.
Lock up for both of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and Fabian follow through. The other thing that could happen is that Drew's like, you know what? I'm surviving. I'm doing fine. I don't want to change my braking markers.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen. So let's just not use any of these push-to-pass things, because they do change a lot.
They do.
On how you drive.
Oh, they'll change your fuel mileage, too.
Yeah, that too. And I'm sure the 8 ones that we see that Adam has, he's going to use them all in the next lap. There are so many places where you can actually press it and go faster. So that's actually how you get to those sub 640 laps. So Hayward does a little bit of gardening there on the Nordschleife.
Now I've been told in the past, in one of the updates, that the grass has actually increased in grip. So once you hit the grass, it isn't an instant death sentence. So maybe that's a result of new code making the grass a little bit more grippier. Let's ride along with Fabian. It's not to jinx him or anything, but we're right above his head there as he comes into one of the carousels. Car does not like to be on the bottom here, and the reason why is Indy cars do not like to bend, and that whole area is very bumpy. And as you see, it's banked in one section and banked differently down toward the bottom, and then there's the curb. So that sometimes unsettles and unloads the car. So they do not like to run that low, but he was handling it pretty well. There you see, battle for position in front of him. That is Olivia Hayward. They are currently in 5th, Fabian in 6th. So it's a battle for top 5.
He's doing a great job staying with her. Although I do fear that he's overdriving the car a little bit. I've seen it on many of these corner entries and exits. He's just sideways and attacking it way too much. The problem with that is it can easily bite and end your race. Like the curbs here, there are a bunch of them that you can get away with, but there are some others that if you touch, they're going to be actually instant death.
Well, and Fabian wants to get this done because he is on a new set of alternates, whereas Hayward is on a new set of primes. And he's not going to get any better chance than he does right here in the next couple of laps. So, final lap, white flag taken by Adam Blocker. Oh, currently we're watching a battle right now for 5th place between Hayward and Fabian Jerushuski. I hope I said that right. There's the Kleinis carousel.
I don't know. I'm sure we butchered so many names.
I know, yeah.
Just wanted to also let you know that Blocker already is using a push-to-pass. He used one on the front stretch. He's using one right now, which is a very fast section of the track, where he's going to go into the Nordschleife.
Well, let's ride with him. Let's ride with him right now. So there you see him going on to the North Loop there. Little oversteer, excuse me, coming off the corner.
Going through hats and back. And I'm sure that after the next couple of corners, there's a super long stretch. He's going to use another one of those push to pass.
And we'll show you what it looks like from the driver's point of view when they smack that button. Just like you should smack the light button for this broadcast.
Oh, what a segue.
And there you go. See right there on his steering wheel around the pi readout. It's green. And then you see green flashing on the left and right side next to his thumbs. That's his driver indication that he's on push to pass.
And, I mean, he could potentially even use another one. Maybe not.
So it's just a momentary 20-second blast of about 100 or 150 extra horsepower. It will stall out, as we've seen. Some of these straights that are longer than 20 seconds, it just kind of stops. And the car just kind of maxes out and kind of on its own slows down, and then it'll brake, of course, going into the corner. Hitting the curbs.
Going into this twisty section of Adenauer Forsch.
Still more than a half a lap to go here at the Nordschleife. Currently have 11 cars running, 26 started. 11 are still running. Everybody on the race course. Everyone pretty much, with the exception of fourth and fifth. Actually, Burrell is starting to have some company. Let's take a look at Burrell real quick. Everyone kind of has their own piece of race course right now. So Burrell.
Zach Kugler seems to be closing in on Burrell.
Yeah. And I apologize about the echoing that you might be hearing in the audio. We're still working out the bugs. But here comes Hubler on those new primes, or new alternates, excuse me. And he is trying to track down Burrell, who is on a new set of primes. Prime is the Prime is the black sidewall tire. And alternates are the red sidewall tire, as you see from Hubler right there. You see the red sidewalls. IndyCar in real life has a third tire. It's the green tire, and they use those at natural and natural and non-road course. Non-street courses. Let's put it that way. That's it. Street courses, they just have the prime and alternates. At the natural road courses, the IndyCar in the real world has the blacks and the greens. Alts and I can't even say what that word is. It begins. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, it's basically a recycled tire for a green. My understanding is that drivers do not like them very much, though, so they only last a lap or so.
Yeah. Zach Kruger was on the bottom just a second ago, and he is now 1.2 seconds behind Kevin Burrell. So that gap is.
Yeah, we're watching it right here. Yeah.
I was also looking at Blocker. He's now down to 3 uses of push pass. He's really going for it. I think it's going to be a super fast.
I don't think he's going to get that 30-second margin that he did on the Monday race, though. He's gonna get half that, but still pretty impressive.
Yeah, but once he decided that he was going to go for it, that difference to the second place, I think it was around 10 seconds. It's now 16. So yeah. Using all the track available there, Blocker. Ooh. He actually got a little squirrely there. We know that he's really pushing. In the meantime, Daniel Kim is in the pits, probably had an issue. So we're down to actually only 10 cars on the lead lap.
Let's take a look at Daniel. He might be coming in for a regular stop. We'll see. Hitting his spot, going up on the jacks. And get himself a new set of alternates, fill tank to get them to the end, or maybe he's done. We'll see.
Going back to Blocker, he's entering the Kleines carousel.
Ooh, Blocker's car, bouncy.
Super bouncy, but he still has 2 pushes at the bottom left, and that's going to be enough to use them here on the Döttinger Höhe, and that's going to be a blazing fast lap. He's on the bottom right now.
On the button. We'll see that. Maybe even see the green turn itself off because this straight's so long. We'll see.
He's going to turn it off, and then he's going to hit it again. There we go.
There it is, and then he hits it again. Yep. Brings it down, getting ready to hit the traditional course. Looking at the start-finish line blocker this week, 2 for 2. And there he goes, the victory weave. 2 for 2, Adam Blocker.
That was a 6:45 for Blocker.
Yep, purple last lap, yep. Kevin Burrell gets P2, good finish for him. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Zach Hubler, good finish for him. Blaze Andrich lost the spot, but he's going to finish nevertheless here. So finishes 4th. Haywood pick back up their progress, and they're by themselves.
Yeah, we had Fabian Jaroszewski really close to her a few minutes ago, but now they're 10 seconds apart, so it's for Olivia right now, it's just about hitting her marks, and she's coming to the backstretch, and that's going to be that's going to be it. She's going to net a top 5, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, top 5 after today. Hopefully still pretty rewarding. Going down the long stretch here. Finishing off that last push to pass.
Yeah, like you said, finishing this race is an accomplishment on its own. So, yeah, kudos to all these guys that are wrapping up.
On the main straight, Olivia Hayward, P5 after starting in 9th, so up 4 spots. Great day for them. Here comes Fabian. Fabian's a little bit further on back. He is going to finish. He is up 4 spots. We're going to wait for OK. OK still on the long straight. Give him a second to get to the finish line here. Give everyone a little camera time as they wrap up. I think it's well-earned camera time for just about anybody that finishes this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Off the final corner, down the straight, and a top 10 for OK.
Sorry about that.
Kyle Everett's coming down, and I will be getting that serial here soon. And he gets himself a top 10, finishing 8th, up, down 1 spot, but still good finish. Here is the next biggest gainer of the day, and that AlphaTauri livery. He's still a long way from getting there, but we'll continue to watch. While we're waiting, just a reminder to give us the old thumbs up there. Subscribe and click the bell for notifications. And we cannot operate without your donations. So please donate, and you can find the link for our GoFundMe in the description.
Well, Drew is going to be able to make it, and that's super accomplishment. 11 spots up from where he started.
Yeah.
P9. That's pretty cool.
So some camera time for Drew, getting that top 10. Corey Lloyd coming up on the looks like he's coming up on the new course as well.
I think we have a couple of folks ready for interview.
Yep, we'll get it. We'll get it.
So long.
We'll get in there. Yeah, we want to give everyone their due here. And here's Corey Lloyd getting the final position in the top 10. And we're not going to show his finish because we got to get to the interview booth. But Daniel Kim still has a way to go. But if he finishes, he's going to finish 11th. He's going to gain 14 spots. So he is our biggest gainer of the day. And hopefully he is rewarded generously for some iRating and some safety here, getting the car to the finish.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
yes. So let's get in here and real quick look at our final results here. We'll look at that in a second. Let's bring up our first interviewee, and that's Kevin Burrell. Bring him on up. Hey, Kevin, land of the rising sun, currently in Japan. What time is it there?
It's 4:17 a.m.
Oh, it's never too early for racing at the Nordschleife.
You know what though? Like the thing is that this is gonna be it going forward for IAS. My ass is gonna be up until 5 a.m. on IAS.
Well, you still have a little time before that starts, but yeah, that's true. That's unfortunately, I guess you can get yourself into training for it.
No, actually, I because of I basically have I work for my own company and we have kind of bizarre hours. Like it's not really that bad for me to start racing at 3 because my usual kind of flow is like testing from 10 to like midnight or something like that. So that's like prime driving hours for me. I get the whole day to worry about the race.
Well, Rana, before we get into the race, I saw during the US 500 you had a video that ran of you, and man, you had the finest sideburns beard that I saw.
I got the Lemmy thing going on.
Well, it really reminds me of General Burnside from the Civil War.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of giving you the nickname the General. Does that work for you?
That does work.
I like it. I like it.
I think I'm hoping. I actually was going to turn on my cam for the 500. This return 500 and shave that stuff back in, but I was a little too lazy, so rest assured it'll be making a return on Race Spot sometime in the future. All
right, well, stay tuned to them. Tell us about your race. You started second, gone off a good race. I will say the victory for just about everybody in the top 3 and the top 4, because you didn't let Adam get to that 30-second lead like he did on Monday.
Dude, I know. I mean, it was just it sucks that I got tapped by Phil on Monday. That first corner, you don't even get a real full out lap or anything. You just get, and it's even worse because everyone is like fuel save coasting on the out lap, down the back straight, because the fuel save is hard enough as is.
You aren't right.
I'm sure you guys talked about it. Adam and I think pretty much everyone at least tried to save to 4 on one of the primary stints, because that third lap of halts is just lethal. I mean, it's not even a matter of it just being slow. It's just dangerous. So,
just hang on.
and Max actually, Verstappen rolled up to a race this week, and he made the 3 laps on the alts work and was still holding pace with me on the 3rd lap of the alts. So,
well, that's why we're paid to do what we do, and that's why he's paid to do what he does.
Yes. But it's fun. I mean, it's funny because you wouldn't expect this car to be good here. Just naively, it's like, well, this is obviously not a car made for this track.
Right.
I think because it has that little bit extra downforce to power versus something like the Super Formula, I think or even like the F1 cars, right? I think it's just in the right spot where the tire compounds are good. It holds on. There's a lot of grip. I mean, I feel almost more sketchy at this track in like a GT3 or something, it's just a big.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that in the race, that you guys have a downforce advantage over the GT3s. I kind of get to the other guys here, because I'm not sure who's got a 24-hour stint going, but we love talking to you. You are absolutely the best absolute interview on all of iRacing. Next,
one day won't lose to Blocker by 20 seconds.
Right. Certainly one of the top 3 interviews. I wish we could talk to you longer, but always a good guy. Yeah. Shout outs and everything. I know you have them, and then we'll let you go and continue the remainder of your Sunday in Japan.
Obviously to satellite racing, I'm joining up forces with our boy Adam Crane.
Yeah,
I remember from IAS. Exciting development, and of course, shout outs to the guys at IAR for not turning cold shoulder to us. We're all good buddies, and we're having a good time. We're all happy this car's back. We're happy there's competition. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll see you guys later, and have a good one. Cheers.
Take care. Thanks for being here. All right, let's bring up Zach. Hey, Zach, we got you. You're on mute. If you'd like to unmute yourself. And you had yourself a pretty adventuresome race there, and there was always seemed to be a battle for third and fourth and fifth back there, and it's for second place at points. But at some points, there was nobody around you, and it was kind of like driving just yourself. How hard is it to stay focused around this place? Well, I think we're working on some audio issues there. Yeah. All right, Zach, hold on. We'll put you back down into the waiting room, and we'll bring you back up just in case so you get to work on your audio there. So we'll bring up Adam Blocker. Hey, Adam, sorry for the wait. We're not sure what your schedule is for the 24. I'm assuming you're racing in it this week, but 2 for 2. You make it look like it's just so darn easy, and we know it's not like that. The least the field didn't let you get 30 seconds out in front of them, but still kind of made a clinic of it all.
Yeah, I mean, the gap on Monday was a bit flattering because the guys behind had issues. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The track's just, it's really fun to drive. It's a really fun combination. We tried it a few years ago, and people kind of thought it was crazy to put it on the schedule. But since then, it's had good participation, and yeah, it's really fun to drive. And yeah, we built a pretty good setup for this week, and so I really haven't been like more comfortable at this track before, like pushing the whole race. So, which is worth a lot of time in and of itself, just the safety factor here.
Well, closers be closing. Got that purple lap on the last lap. Used all your pushes to pass in the last 2 laps, pretty much. 6:45.567 was that last lap that you completed. So congratulations. Obviously, we will continue to see your involvement in the Open Series. You're the Open Community Liaison, which is thanks for stepping up for that. But real world, of course, you're going to have your hands full in the NTT IndyCar Series. Is that going to interfere at all with your increased possible workload, or are you still going to have time to come play with us every now and then?
Definitely for Open, I'll be able to race a decent amount because, especially like the Mondays, because they don't conflict, but Saturdays especially. Once we get going here, we'll be really busy. I think between tests and races, I'm traveling at least once a week, all the way from last week of February to last week of July. So it's a really busy schedule this year, but yeah, I mean, I should be able to race. Plan to still try and go for Open Championships when I can and race whatever leagues I can, but yeah, it always becomes harder. Always have to lean on teammates to make setups more and all that. So,
well, speaking of teammates, I'm sure you got some shout outs.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at Powerside for working together, putting the setup on together. I want to thank you guys for covering the series again. Yeah, and hopefully, next few weeks it'll continue. This SOF slot will continue to build. Obviously, today we were against Daytona 24, so that's a challenge. And yeah, I just want to just hope my team's still doing well in the Daytona.
We'll let you go check them out. And in the real world, say hi to Augustine and Romaine for us. But have a good one, and best of luck in the 24, and congratulations on your P1 here in the Saturday Strength of Field Open race.
Yep, have a good day.
Okay, well, we got Olivia Hayward here in the interview room. They got themselves a top 5. I think, Antonio, it's worth bringing up for an interview. So we'll bring them up, surprise them. Olivia, we're going to bring you up into the booth. Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hey. But we're going to bring you in the booth because I think a top 5 here is worth a podium and at any other track.
For me, a top 5 anywhere is what for most people.
Well, you know what? One of the reasons I'm bringing it up is I could tell from the IndyCar community Discord that you were really, really working and practicing for this race. And
no, I wasn't.
No, I thought you were really putting some effort into it because whatever you did, I mean, you kept it clean. And there were opportunities to get caught up in a lot of other people's mistakes, especially early in this race, and you got it to 5th.
Yeah, I mean, top 4 obviously are all complete sickos, so 5th is about as good as I could have done. I started 9th because I was expecting this to be a really stacked top split, and my strategy was start at the back and just keep it on the track and see what happens. We didn't split, so I ended up maybe around people I was expecting to be around. And a lot of people started on alt here. I think it's a thing of this combo attracting people who don't drive the car as much. So they're like, start on alt, that's what the setup has, let's do that. Which sounds great for lap 1, and then lap 2 happens, and lap 3 happens. So I was set to fuel save. I got it thanks to Kevin. He streams races constantly. He's always good to talk strategy with. So I trimmed the car out a bit to make it easier to fuel save, so I had to do 2 on the reds there. And at times I was in map 5 in that patch just because it's so risky to make a move, and there was no need to with my strategy. So I was just trying to hold on. I used some pushed passes on that in lap, got onto the reds, tried to build that gap, and managed to jump everyone. But I ended up having a lot of pressure on me through that final stint by Fabian, because he was on the reds.
Yes.
I had to defend on lap 7 and 8 until they fell off, because otherwise I'd be stuck behind, and it's hard to overtake here. So
well, you definitely made us look good on the broadcast, because early on I identified about 5 drivers, and I said these are the 5 drivers kind of racing this series all the time. We kind of expected a little bit of a different lineup because of the 24 going on, that maybe some drivers that normally would be in a second split are now showing up in here. So I'm like, here are these 5 people that I expect to be 5 drivers in the top 5, and thank you for making us look smart, because we identified you as one of the strengths of the field. But I'm sure you're happy. I'm sure you're thrilled. We wanted to pop you up in here because we had a little bit of time. Unfortunately, Zach couldn't join us with the audio, so we thank him for sticking around. But before we let you go, continue the rest of your day, any shout outs, anyone you want to say hi to while we got you here?
Yeah, so obviously I voted shout out Kevin, just for being a helpful voice for people like me who are a bit less experienced, haven't driven this car for years. Livery was Stepping Stone Motorsports this week. I ran with them a while ago. Still waiting on my livery for my main team that I'm running, which is my Motorsports. Shout out to them as well.
Okay.
It's always good to shout out to both of them, because what's the point just having one team when you can have 5?
Strength in numbers, my friend. Strength in numbers.
That's all good.
All right. Well, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for coming out and playing with us today, and hopefully we'll see you on another top split in the interview room.
Yeah, hopefully. Might be a while, but I'll
hey, we'll see. We'll see. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Have a great one, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if you're running into 24, good luck.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Well, Antonio, bring you back in here. What'd you think of today's race, and then what do you think of next week going off to Zandvoort?
Well, you know, I'm psyched, man. I'm psyched because we're back, and I think the race was really, really good, especially because that's the Nürburgring, and that's what the Nordschleife produces, no matter what series it is. It's very much a testament of man versus track, as opposed to man versus other, or team versus team. This one is against the track itself. Of course, there are many things that you can do to work against someone, but just surviving is an accomplishment in itself.
I tell you, that's half the battle.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's more than half the battle on this particular track. But yeah, I think we saw some really, really good battles there throughout the top 5: Burrell, Huber, Hendrick, Max King when he was around, and we also saw that group of that Olivia was alluding to with Fabian Dershevsky, Kyle. It had Andrew Gust and Santiago and some of these other folks that were running, and they were all together for quite a few laps. So that was very entertaining. And again, it's a tough place to make moves. It's so long, but there are not very many passing opportunities. And I think we still saw a really, really good race. And of course, Adam putting up a clinic and going and running away with it. But super glad to be back. I'm so happy that IndyCar and iRacing are working together again, that we are able to bring this to you, and that we can share our passion for motorsports and our passion for IndyCar with everyone that is watching us here on Raceverse. As for next week at Zandvoort, also not a very traditional track for IndyCars, or not traditional at all. And it has one of those very interesting corners with a lot of banking, which is not something that you would typically see in a road course, especially in Europe.
No.
So I'm sure that setting up the car is going to be tough, because you're going to have to play around with ride heights. You're going to have to play around with are you going to bring that weaker? Where is how are the springs are going to be working, etc. There are so many things that you're going to need to look into. So I'm sure that it's going to be a blast seeing the top teams working against each other, making sure that to build the best setup that they can, and then drive. And we'll be here to watch it and enjoy the battles.
Yeah, that's the banking of that signature turn is really something. So we'll see. We saw how the Formula One cars use it, so we'll see if the IndyCar cars can do any better. But that is it for today. Once again, your podium from the Nürburgring is Adam Blocker sweeping the open strength of field races, winning on Monday, and then backing it up with a not quite the statement win he had on Monday, but still backing it up nevertheless. I think some other guys up in the top 5 really practiced to come here to play today and not give Adam that 30-second runaway. So still wins nevertheless, but Kevin Burrell finished second. Zach Hubler finished third. Again, their efforts kept the field a lot closer than what we saw Monday, and I'm sure they are equally as exhausted. So join Antonio and myself again next week for round 7 of the Saturday Indy Open Top Split of Season 1 of 2024. As the series moves to, as we mentioned, Zandvoort. Coverage this season begins around 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That is 1 p.m. Eastern, 1300 hours. As always, you can find everything here right at YouTube at youtube.com/raceverse. Hey, we absolutely love bringing these races to you. We're so happy to be back, but they're not easy and they require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you many races of the Indy Open Series nearly commercial-free. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday Indy Open Top Split, please take time to go visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2024 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough. Believe me, I know I'm putting a daughter through college, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us a part of your, well, hopefully Saturday afternoons, each and every Saturday afternoon going forward. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Raceverse with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of today's race, and if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video and also subscribing to the channel. If you're new here, obviously you want to click subscribe, and while you're at it, ring the bell for weekly reminders so you'll miss out on more of Raceverse's other iRacing programming, including its Tuesday, where we are going to have a pack racing doubleheader from Plate Atlanta. That's right, the new Atlanta IndyCars are going to be racing on that. That's going to be for the Tuesday night Indy Fix Series. So I don't think anybody wants to miss it. As I said in the IndyCar forums, everyone loves to watch pack racing. Everyone hates the race in pack racing. So, so make sure to give us that thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, so you don't miss out on that Plate Atlanta race. And as always, please donate. We appreciate your generosity. All right. Let's clear these images off the screen and get on an important one here. Let's get the Twitter addresses up there. There they are. We even got Nick up there for later this season. So keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Raceverse, You know what we say. We know what Indy means. Race First Saturday Indy Open Top Split naming rights are paid by 4D RACEWEAR. Check out their made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or visit their link in today's description. For business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us via our Twitter X handles right here at the bottom of your screen. I refuse to call it X. It just seems really weird. But anyways, so for Antonio Estrada, everyone Race First, I am Gary Gotzo saying all good night or good afternoon. Thanks for watching and welcome back. We missed you all. And to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, come home safe. Catch us again right here next week at Zandvoort for the next race of the 4D RACEWEAR Saturday Indy Open Top Split. Good night.